Imagine a high-pressure industrial water system. The heavy steel pump is working at 100% capacity, spinning furiously and forcing a massive volume of water directly into the main line. This represents your primary income, the raw cash flow you generate through your daily manual effort, your endless hours of focus, and your professional trade. But when you walk down to the very end of that massive pipeline to look at the actual output, the water flowing into your reservoir of long-term assets, savings, and true wealth, you notice something shocking. The output is nothing but a mere trickle. Where is all that energy going? Most people look at this situation and instantly make a severe calculation error. They assume that because the output at the end of the line is small, the solution must be to build a bigger pump. They tell themselves that they simply need to make more money, secure a higher salary, or take on another project. They fall deep into a common, exhausting trap. They believe they can overcome a lack of progress by simply burning more cognitive bandwidth, stressing out, and stretching their work week to 70, 80, or 90 hours. This is the brute force paradox. Pushing your physical body to the absolute limit will never get you anywhere if the underlying foundation is broken from the start. If your financial pipeline is full of massive, unexamined holes, turning up the water pressure will not fix the underlying structural failure. It doesn't solve the problem. It simply wastes more water, burns out your machinery, and exhausts your limited daily energy. You cannot build long-term financial security if you rely entirely on your survival instincts and linear manual labor instead of building systems that work for you. We need to stop looking exclusively at how much cash is pumped into the top of the system and start looking at the pipeline itself. It is time to step into the role of a system architect, clear the workspace, and begin the efficiency refactor. Welcome to Strategic Finance. Capital leaks rarely happen all at once in a catastrophic explosion. Instead, they happen quietly, invisibly, and continuously, right beneath your feet. They are the direct result of your unexamined default settings, the financial configurations you accepted years ago and never took the time to reevaluate. When you blindly accept recurring monthly subscriptions you no longer use, when you ignore high interest rates on credit accounts, or when you let your lifestyle expand simply because your income grew, you are permitting system drift to take over your framework. Think of it as a series of microscopic pinholes forming along the entire length of your copper pipeline. If you look at just one individual pinhole, a single tiny drop of water slipping out into the soil doesn't look like a threat. A $15 streaming package, a premium morning routine expense, an outdated insurance policy premium, or a bloated recurring software fee might seem completely insignificant in the moment. You tell yourself that it's just a few dollars, and that it doesn't affect your overall trajectory. But this is a critical structural misunderstanding. Your financial system doesn't experience just one leak. It drifts over time. When you add up 30, 40, or 50 individual pinholes across a standard monthly cycle, the math compounds against you. Suddenly, those invisible drops turn into a raging torrent. By the time your hard-earned cash flows from the high-pressure pump to your asset reservoir, 40 to 50% of your volume has already sprayed out into the dark, completely wasted before it ever has a chance to be saved or invested. This is how high earners find themselves trapped in a continuous cycle of running as fast as they can while remaining completely broke. They are operating a corroded infrastructure. To fix the circuit, you must first locate and map every single point of friction. Financial pipelines do not just suffer from outward leaks. They also suffer from internal decay. When you work hard to earn capital, but choose to store that cash in a traditional low-interest checking or savings account, you aren't actually protecting it. You are allowing it to rot. Storing your capital in a legacy banking environment is the equivalent of letting water sit entirely stagnant inside an old, unlined iron pipe. Over time, stagnant water breeds corrosion. In the financial world, that corrosion is inflation. Inflation acts as a silent, aggressive rust that eats away at the structural walls of your purchasing power from the inside out. Every single month your cash sits idle, the interior capacity of your pipe shrinks. Your dollars might look exactly the same on your screen, but their actual capability, what they can purchase in the real economy, is continuously eroding. Leaving your capital unallocated is a severe structural mistake. You are paying a heavy, hidden tax to inflation simply because your infrastructure is outdated. To build a highly scalable wealth network, you must understand a fundamental rule of engineering. Cash must never remain stagnant. It must flow. Capital is an active resource that requires a dynamic environment. It must be programmatically routed away from low-yield, decaying holding tanks and continuously directed into modern, high-yield, inflation-protected channels where it can build momentum. Stop allowing your hard work to dissolve into internal rust. If you want to protect the system, you must stop guessing, face the data, and run a complete, transparent audit of your plumbing lines. To transform a leaking, corroded financial setup into a highly efficient network, a professional system architect never relies on guesswork, emotion, or hope. They rely strictly on telemetry data. They look directly at the raw metrics of the system to identify exactly where the structural vulnerabilities are hiding. It is time to execute a rigorous plumbing audit on your financial life. Face these 5 internal telemetry questions today and answer them with absolute precision. Question number 1. The flow test. If your primary income pump suddenly shut down tomorrow morning, exactly how many days could your current asset reservoir maintain your lifestyle before running completely dry? Question number 2. The pressure gauge. What precise percentage of your monthly income is automatically routed into wealth-building infrastructure before you ever have the chance to touch it or spend it manually? Question number 3. The friction audit. How many unexamined recurring payments, hidden account fees, or minor capital leaks are currently draining your main line without moving you closer to your freedom? Question number 4. The pipe capacity. Are your long-term capital reserves currently sitting idle in stagnant, low-yield traditional bank accounts where inflation is rusting away their value? Or are they moving through active channels? And question number 5. The emergency valve. Do you possess a completely isolated, high-liquidity backup reservoir engineered specifically to absorb sudden system shocks without forcing you to dismantle your core investments? Do not avoid these metrics. Do not look away from the numbers. Any negative result you find is not an emotional failure or a personal judgment. It is simply neutral system telemetry data telling you exactly where your circuit is broken. It shows you precisely where your energy is leaking and which parts of your pipeline must be completely rebuilt during the refactor. Once you have identified the internal leaks and cleared away the corrosion, you do not simply patch the old system with duct tape. You execute a complete efficiency refactor. You migrate away from legacy configurations entirely and build a modern, automated pipeline designed from the ground up for maximum scale. This is the final stage of strategic finance, establishing an automated, decoupled leverage system where every single dollar follows a strict, pre-programmed code. In a refactored pipeline, your manual effort is no longer used to carry water in a heavy bucket. Instead, you operate as a system architect. The moment your high-pressure income pump generates capital, the automated infrastructure immediately takes control of the flow. It seals the leaks by default. It instantly strips away your baseline fixed operational costs, automatically isolates your emergency reserves, and routes a predetermined, optimized percentage directly into high-yield holding tanks and wealth-building assets before you ever have the chance to make a manual mistake or experience cognitive friction. This completely alters the game. By automating the pipeline, you decouple your long-term wealth growth from your daily biological energy. You are no longer forcing higher voltage through a broken, leaking circuit. You can finally step away from the exhausting grind of working 70 to 90 hours a week just to stay in the exact same financial position. You shift your focus from short-term survival scripts to long-term system architecture. Stop acting as the manual laborer within your financial life and become the author of the system. Code the rules, lock down the infrastructure, and let the refactored pipeline buy back your time. The blueprint is in your hands. Build the system. Look at the telemetry routing interface currently active on your console. To proceed horizontally across our structural framework, you must route your attention directly to our next milestone, Module 3.1.0. This module activates the efficiency layer. In that sector, we transition completely away from asset placement and look directly at your physical time and energy limits. We will analyze how to deploy low-cost digital architecture and high-fidelity AI prompting boundaries to systematically buy back your daily execution capacity and establish your very first automated background infrastructure. Simultaneously, you must prepare your architecture for our upcoming vertical upgrade loop. In Module 2.2.0, we will execute a cold, mechanical audit of your margin expansion parameters. We will map the precise delta between what enters your system and what leaves it, tracking down the microscopic, daily permission loops that quietly bleed thousands of dollars of your raw investment power over time. We will widen this distribution gap systematically, without forcing you to expend secondary physical labor. Scan your baseline operational overhead immediately. Locate the hidden recurring permissions that do not serve your expansion and prepare to isolate them. The optimization routine has initialized. Thank you for watching, and congratulations on taking action toward your personal improvement. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any helpful insights or positive thoughts to share, I warmly invite you to leave a comment below for our community. Choose an option now on your screen. Top left to dive deeper into this topic. Bottom left to expand your understanding. Tap the top right to subscribe for all upcoming videos, or select the bottom right playlist to access a more complete experience. Select your next choice. Let's keep moving forward.